till they get these going. Welcome, thank you for coming to our regular Board of Trustees meeting on October 17th, 2024. We are resuming our meeting, and we will now stand for our Pledge of Allegiance, led, and a moment of silence afterwards, led by our student representative to the Board of Trustees, Erin Beck.
Put your right hand over your heart, right to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sometimes in life, unexpected tragedies can occur like uncontrollable natural disasters that can leave impacts on so many lives. At this time, please join me in the moment of silence to honor the families and individuals affected by Hurricane Milton who lost many lives, pets, and were forced to evacuate from their homes. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. Moving on to our closed session report. There we are. Item 5.3.
Thank you. This on? Testing? Okay. 4.1, no report of action taken regarding public employee performance evaluation superintendent. 4.2, the no report of action regarding existing litigation. 4.3, no report of action taken regarding negotiations. And 4.4, no report of action taken regarding personnel. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Guerrero. I'd like to welcome everyone here again to our Board of Trustees meeting. There are a few distinguished guests that we'd like to acknowledge. We'll begin with James Goran, the Vice President of ASTA. I saw you earlier. Heather Huntner, President of CSEA. And Brittany Bauska is the APGA co-president, back there in the red. Jennifer Sasai, our ALTA president. And in the middle there is Dr. Ligia Hallstrom, Administrator of Instructional Programs for our ROP. Welcome. And also we have a representative from Sharon Quirk Silva's office, Lily Jimenez. Welcome. All right. And item 6.1, California Distinguished Schools, and Assemblywoman Sharon Quirk Silva's office is going to be presenting. Oh, she is coming? Absolutely. Absolutely. We will wait for her. All right. Moving on to item 6.2. All right, this is an exciting item, the Boys State and Girls State delegates. So the Girls State and Boys State are leadership programs through the American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary, designed to increase awareness and knowledge of governmental processes while learning about the duties, privileges, rights, and responsibilities of citizenship. The student nominees went through a rigorous application and interview process after being nominated for their leadership qualities, academic potential, and character. Each delegate spent a week at Sacramento State University this summer participating in mock government conferences and sessions with other young leaders from throughout the state. And below are this year's state delegates. The first one on the list actually cannot be here tonight, but they are going to present his certificate on the field at Western. He's a football player, and so his name is James Flores. So let's give a round of applause from Western. And they will be giving him his certificate on our behalf. Claire Zhang from Oxford Academy. Here. Paola Loza from Savannah High School. Koa Win from Western High School. And Tiffany Wynn from Western High School. And Annalyn Rualo from Catella High School. The inspiration and the jobs that they decided to enter into, because it's pretty amazing. Paola?
Hello everybody. I really got inspired to government and politics, and it made me want to be senator and hopefully governor of California. Hi everyone, my name is Annalyn Rualo, and I was really inspired by the whole government process, and I'd like to go into criminal justice law.
Hello everyone, my name is Tiffany Wynn from Western High School, and I was really inspired by the program as well. I'd love to be a diplomat in the future and connect others.
So the program really inspired me. My name is Juan from Western High School, but then I'm not really pursuing a related career. It's more of like a computer science career.
And let's give a round of applause to Sharon.
Good evening, everybody. I am Assemblymember Sharon Quirk Silva, and I've had the pleasure of serving as your state assembly member for now 5 terms. And with that, some of you may know that I was an educator myself for almost 30 years in the Fullerton Elementary School District. So education is a core value that I not only believe in, as I'm the first in my family to graduate, and have seen it firsthand in my own family with all 4 of my adult, I was going to say children, but you can't be an adult child, but now having attained higher ed degrees, and I think that's directly related to me going to school myself. But with that, I've had the opportunity to be on all of the campus sites. I believe only one, I'm not sure, Lexington, that I've been to, but we will make a point to get there. But I've certainly been to Cypress, Lexington, Kennedy, Magnolia, and Oxford over my time as an assembly member. And we know that the California Distinguished Schools Award is one of the state's most important ways to celebrate exceptional schools, districts, teachers, and classified employees for their innovation, talent, and success in supporting students. So we are thrilled. It's a little tardy in the sense that I know these achievements were last year, and you're probably working tirelessly for this year, but we wanted to celebrate you with a California Assembly resolution. So I think if it's okay, we'll just invite each school one up at a time and just present the resolution. I won't read it all, but I'll show you all. First, we'll have Cypress. And then next, Kennedy. And Lexington. And then Magnolia, I just had the chance to be at Magnolia a few days ago. The Magnolia Farm, and I want to go work there when I'm done. Nice to see you again. And then Oxford. Great job, and really inspired by Anaheim and the leadership, and I know what that means as a teacher. You guys are just taking it to the next level. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Yes, awesome. Another round of applause for all of our schools. Okay, item 6.1. All right, you're up next. 7.1, our student representative to report, Erin Beck.
Okay, starting off with Anaheim, women's flag football won the Bell game against Western for the first game ever, starting a new Bell game tradition of women's and men's football.
Additionally, during the first RSVP summit, the major concerns of students were bathrooms and food options, specifically the removal of the snack shake and mirrors that Anaheim is now working on to improve. Next, moving on to CVA. CVA has started to highlight the stories and adversities of a student who was asked whether they would like to. It's a good opportunity for the students and staff to learn about the student, but also showing the network between the students and CVA. Now for Cyprus, there were many exciting events that displayed what makes the Cyprus community so great. To begin, they had Senior Luau on September 4th, which displayed the culture of many different people and had great food with the dance. In addition, they had the Evening of the Arts on September 19th, presenting many talents among all Cyprus students in the theater. Cyprus also had their first summit, and the school has gained a lot of information to help the school improve, and one of the biggest highlights was Homecoming Week from October 7th to 12th. Cyprus ASB has been working hard to put on most of these events and help all around the school. This month was action-packed, and they can't wait to see what is coming in the future. Next, moving on to Catella. Catella had their first RSVP summit on October 11th. It went great, and Cheer, Principal Hernandez, Vice Presidents from RSVP, and Student Ambassador Evelyn Ramos greeted students at the Wagner Gate. Catella thanks all students that participated in the summit, and their next step is to make changes on their campus to make sure the student body is heard. Moving on to Kennedy. Kennedy had the Civic Learning Awards ceremony on September 23rd. Additionally, Kennedy singers had their first choir show this year, which was their main highlights. Now moving on to Lorera. At Lorera, a new relaxation space has been established where students can unwind and take a break from their stress from their homework. This recently created space is available before school in the mornings and during lunch with a maximum stay of 10 minutes per student. The Luna leaders collaborated in designing the features of the space, while the name was chosen by students during a lunchtime activity. Next for Magnolia, California State Assemblywoman Sharon Quirk Silva visited Magnolia High School on October 15th to tour their beloved MACC and their brand new innovations building. It was an absolute delight for Magnolia to have her tour their two biggest sources of innovation and opportunities for their sentinels. Next for Oxford. Oxford had Unity Day on October 16th, where ASB decorated the quad with orange-themed goldfish, with lunchtime activities such as bracelet making, posting a note on their decorated wall, and getting a rose to give to someone. Students were allowed to wear orange to help their grade earn points for their Spirit Week. Next with Savannah. Savannah's first RSVP summit of this school year went really well. Students who participated in the summits as facilitators had an amazing time and gathered numerous input for RSVP to go over. Savannah students had the opportunity to be involved in a discussion about what changes they would like to make regarding the three topics: social, facility, and community. In partnership with Serve the People, Savannah provided students the opportunity to get their sports physicals checked for our student athletes. It is required to have a sports physical in order to play a sport at school. Held on campus, students were able to get their physicals done for free. Lastly, with Western, they won their annual rivalry football game against Anaheim, the Bell game, for the 13th year in a row, which was most definitely a highlight. Western also finished their first summit RSVP trained and led nearly 100 facilitators, and they got into every class at once. RSVP and Western is excited to start work on their data. Thank you.
Fantastic. Bravo. We appreciate this colorful report and very thorough. This is amazing. Trustee Guerrero and I were able to attend one of the RSV summits, and please tell the ambassadors congratulations to, it's an enormous undertaking, and for them to get that already off the ground this early in the year is a feat, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bravo. And I want to honor one of our students that has come in from Oxford Academy, Claire Zhang. Okay, student speakers, and we have a number. All right. Brielle Dronkers, please come on up. Welcome.
Hello all, my name is Brielle Dronkers, and I'm a junior at John F. Kennedy High School, and I'm in my first year of the International Baccalaureate program. I'm here to speak to you today regarding the students' cyber safety, a topic that is increasingly becoming an issue with the development of AI in the technological world. According to AUHSD board policies, Section 8707, labeled Safe and Secure Learning Environments, states a safe and secure learning environment and working environment has remained a major goal for the organization priority of the Board of Trustees. To clarify the statement, the AUHSD Board of Trustees believes that a safe learning environment has a large impact on education. Also, in Section 1400, a statement of educational philosophy states that with the regard of school setting, the Board of Trustees accepts as its primary responsibility the education and welfare of every child. With both of these statements in mind, the board policy clearly states that they prioritize our safety. I do not doubt that our mental and physical safety is at stake. However, I believe cybersecurity should take a new priority. Nothing in state or federal law prevents a student ID from being used as an email address. This could be considered a security hazard. A student ID is considered a PPI. A PPI stands for Personal Identifiable Information. This could be information such as your full name, financial and medical records, and even your social security number. A PII should never be used in an email address, as this could lead to a decrease in identity theft. There is proof of this in the real world today, as allegations in student information were leaked in the past year in 2023 in the Minneapolis public schools because of a district's misuse of IDs in student emails. While student IDs are efficient for the school district, there needs to be a fix to secure the students' cyber safety. Thank you.
Bravo, thank you. Wow, that's amazing. All right, Claudia Elena Mitchell. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Claudia Elena Michelle, and I'm a student at Gilbert High School. Back in my home school, I wasn't the best student there. I would always have Fs because I couldn't focus or teachers weren't the best at explaining things. I never asked for help because I would get scared or nervous for them to say or I wasn't paying attention. When I got to Gilbert High School, I changed by a lot. For example, last quarter, I had all A's and was proud of myself for going to school every day. I joined the Rainbow Gladiators, rooted a music class, and even a business class. On back to school night, I made 4 dozens of muffins for the Rainbow Gladiators to support the class and the school. In my rooted class, I've realized that they've helped me a lot to be more social, helping me find a job and even supporting me. Another thing I did on back to school night was saying a speech for my music class and even helping out in the drum circle. When I heard that they were having a business class, I knew I had to join immediately. I have a business for music, for my muffins, and for eternal roses. Every day when I walk into school, I always get a "Hey, how are you?" or "How's your business going?" or even a fist bump with a smile, and that always makes my day. Gilbert High School has always been a supporting school and just wants to help their students to graduate on time. One thing I notice is that Gilbert gives out a lot of love and support but doesn't get it back. I feel like they need to remodel the school to make it look cleaner and safer. With your support and love, we will appreciate anything for our campus. Thank you.
Harrison McDonough. Hi, Harrison.
My name is Harrison McDonough. I'm a senior at Cypress High School. I was raised by my mom, Janelle, who's a longtime teacher in this district. My mom has been teaching at Gilbert High School for nearly 30 years, and I know for a fact that her workspace has never been renovated or upgraded once. That goes beyond before I was born. During her career, my mom has dedicated her heart and soul to her students, and she loves being part of the Gilbert family. But Gilbert High School's facilities are in dire need of improvement, and they deserve your attention today. Since my mom has taught at Gilbert, she's been a Teacher of the Year, and Gilbert has earned the distinctions of Community School, Democracy School, Model Continuation School, and the highest Honor Civic Learning Award of Excellence. Yet, I'm so concerned for my mom's safety and her well-being there. Gilbert High School needs Measure K funding to keep my mom and her colleagues and her students safe. Your support would help keep everyone safe and promote a better learning experience for everyone there. I hope you will honor that. Thank you.
Natalie Villeda. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Natalie Villeda, and I'm a senior at Gilbert High School. I'm here today to represent our school's Friday Night Live family. I am also here to tell you why our school deserves funding. We've noticed that other schools in the district have been receiving attention and facility improvements using bond money. We applaud these efforts, and we believe that our school, Gilbert High School, deserves consideration. One particular concern is the lack of security fencing around our campus. We would like to ensure our school is safe and secure. Security fencing would help provide that just like all the other schools have. This is especially important given the safety concerns that some of our students face, which can sometimes prevent them from attending school. It is important to remember that Gilbert High School is more than just a place of learning. It's a safe haven for many students, including young children in our on-campus daycare. We believe that fencing would significantly improve the safety and overall well-being of our school community. Another need that we have is the construction of a wellness center and counseling offices for our school. We as students feel that mental health is crucial, and a wellness center will give us a safe space to be mindful, calm, and have someone to talk to when needed. We know that Measure K is on the ballot in November. This may mean that residents may have to pay more in taxes, and no one wants that. However, this will be for the future of our children in our community and schools like Gilbert, who really deserve the support and a safe space to call home. In conclusion, despite the challenges we face, Gilbert High School is a place of hope and opportunity. Our dedicated teachers and staff are committed to helping our students succeed no matter their background. We need your support to ensure that our school's exterior reflects the positive and supportive environment we foster within our walls. Please support our school. Thank you.
Natalie, did you also want to talk about the Friday night lights a little bit? You gave us a couple. Did you want to?
I'm in Friday Night Live. It is something that Miss Resch is like the leader of. We work with things outside of school and in school, like Red Ribbon Week and activities for the school. It was a very good opportunity that Miss Resch let me be in it. I'm very grateful, and I've never been at a school like Gilbert, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Hennessy. Would you mind pronouncing your last name when you get up there? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Hennessy Sanchez. I am a student at Gilbert High School. I want to talk about why our school needs more funding. First, we really need safety fencing, as Natalie said. Our students feel unsafe because our school isn't securely fenced. A good fence would help everyone feel safer and focus better on school because it's hard to focus when you are worried about your safety. Next is the bathrooms. The bathrooms can be pretty filthy, and I feel like clean bathrooms are important for all students. When we have nice, clean places to use, it helps us feel more comfortable at school, and everyone deserves to have good bathroom facilities. Improving these things isn't just about making our school better, it's about creating a place where we feel safe and cared for. When we feel good about our school, we can do better in our classes. Don't forget about Gilbert High School with getting the funding we need, we can make our school safer and a more welcoming place for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you all like to just announce your names up there so we know who you are? We appreciate you being here.
Hi, my name is Audrey Morales, and I am also a student at Gilbert High School.
Thank you.
My name is Catherine Hai, and I'm also at Gilbert High School.
Hi, my name is Maritza Mazza, and I'm also a student at Gilbert High School.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Estrada, and I'm also a Gilbert High School student.
Bravo. Thank you for being here. Is it Catherine?
Hello everyone, my name is Catherine Lung, and I'm a student of Gilbert High. I'll be representing the students and what they think they need. We did a student survey last week. 53 students replied. The top 3 would be the bathrooms. They think we need more bathrooms open, along with it being more clean. Food is the second one, and it would be for more nutritious and more options of food. And then parking and traffic. In the mornings we have trouble. Some students get to school class late because cars are all blacked up. There are other needs such as vending machines for snacks and water to be energized throughout the day. Indoor gymnasts, so that during the summer or if it's raining, that we can have somewhere inside to be to exercise, along with a secure gate that everyone has been talking about, and then also a culinary classroom. I've noticed some students have not been able to go to class on time because they've missed the bus to go to the culinary room. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Haley Sotelo.
Good evening, members of the board. First, and before I start, I would like to give an applause to all the students who came up speaking about facilities and cyber safety. That takes a lot of courage to stand and be here, so thank you. My name is Haley Sotelo, and I am a student at Savannah High School. First, I would like to thank you all for the opportunity to be here and speak. Last month, I spoke about civic engagement in high schools. Last month at Savannah High School, I had the opportunity to run a voter registration booth where we registered over 30 students to register and pre-register to vote. I was also very glad to see that other schools were also doing this and getting to see the outcome. Now I would like to move on to the topic of class sizes. Smaller class sizes improve student learning. Now I can't just make a claim like that without evidence. I am a critical thinker. Now, according to the National Institute of Health, student achievement is directly correlated with class size. A direct quote from this article even states, the student-teacher achievement ratio, STAR, study reported significant benefits from size reductions on students' achievements. Certain students need more Certain students need smaller classes and one-on-one attention. Personally, I pride myself on being able to say that I'm a part of this district and have the capacity to learn in different environments. But how can we ensure that students who need smaller class sizes are going to be able to have the fair opportunity to achieve in our education system? Thank you.
Thank you, Haley. Was there another student that didn't get a sheet up here that would like to come up and speak? All right, well, on behalf of the board, and if the board would like to say anything, you're free to do so, but we really appreciate you all coming up here, and it is a little intimidating and scary. Sometimes I'm scared up here too, but we really appreciate you being so brave, and we did make notes, and we really heard everything that you had to say. And Dr. Laura, you should be very proud of your students coming up here. Yes. Thank you very much, students. We're going to need another round of applause.
Can I add something to that?
Absolutely.
I think this is one of the examples of why this country is so great. That you feel the freedom to come up here and speak what you want to speak about. And it makes you great, but you are part of the greatness of this country. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you and your principal. We listen. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our report of the associations. Let's have our CSEA representative, Heather Huttner, go first. Welcome.
You must have heard mine was really short today.
Okay.
Before I start, I'd also like to thank the kids and say you guys all did a great job. And I'd also like to throw in for you guys, carpet in a health office is really gross. So that should also get taken care of. President Randall Trejo, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Mitsuda, who's not here, so clearly I wrote this ahead of time. Executive Cabinet, staff, parents, students, and community members, thank you for the opportunity to address you on behalf of classified CSEA members. This has been a busy month for CSEA members across the district. Members appreciated Mr. Mitsuda and Dr. Freed taking the time to come to one of our meetings and answering their questions. The Bilingual Biliterate Work Group, composed of CSEA bilingual staff, district and site administrators, have been working to develop a formula that they can recommend to the board that can help ensure that our sites will be adequately staffed to help our staff, our families, and our students get the help that they need. We've been very happy with the progress that our Professional Development Committee has made, and I'd like to recognize Brandon Teets and Melanie Thomason for the work that they've done to revamp the forms that will help make it easier for our members to access this program and continue their educations. While we haven't really seen any progress on the Employee Development Program, the CPR program, or the LEAD stipend being implemented from last year's contract, I am hopeful that we will be able to report on success in those programs very soon. As a member of the Insurance Committee, it was really heartening to see the unions all work together with a spirit of support and compromise to reach an agreement. And I hope that this signals the beginning of healing from the rift of self-interest and impact on labor solidarity of last year. Together, we can do great things to support our students and community. And I look forward to the future.
Thank you, Heather. Just a clarification, did you say CPR or CPI?
CPR.
CPR, okay.
Yeah, we're not
Thank
doing
you so
CPI.
Thank you. And rest assured, Mike is listening to the meeting. He is out of town, but he is listening to the meeting. So, all right. Brittany Bauska.
Hi, good evening, esteemed Board of Trustees. Counselors are currently in the middle of four-year college application season, working diligently to assist seniors with their applications, ensuring they have tools and resources needed for success. In addition to college applications, our counselors just completed a series of financial literacy lessons with senior classes in preparation for FAFSA and CADA applications, which we're hopeful will open on December 1st. This initiative is essential as we strongly believe that all of our students have the potential to pursue higher education, whether that be through a college degree or certification program. Preparing them early for financial planning is key to making post-secondary education accessible and achievable. We are also excited to welcome 5 new dual enrollment counselors to our team. These counselors will play a pivotal role in driving one of our goals, which is ensuring that every student completes at least one dual enrollment course before graduation. This will not only provide them with valuable college credits, but also foster a deeper understanding of what it means to succeed in higher education. We are proud to project that over 1,000 ninth grade students will have completed at least one dual enrollment course by the end of this school year. By integrating Counseling 140 into our CFT classes, we've created an inclusive opportunity for all students to engage in dual enrollment. This strategic effort particularly focuses on ensuring that all underrepresented student populations can fully benefit from this valuable experience, positioning them for greater academic success in the future. We look forward to continuing our efforts to ensure that every student is equipped for success after high school. Thank you for your ongoing support.
Thank you, Brittany. James Goran.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Matsuda, and Cabinet. I'd like to start by thanking the school board, the district, and all the associations who worked hard over the past year to come to consensus on an agreement on health and welfare. ASTA members are grateful knowing that the 2025 plan will be a continuation of our exemplary health benefits. ASTA is currently working hard to support Measure K. Many teachers showed up for the kickoff and went into the community urging families to support our students. ASTA leadership has driven around the district and put up dozens of large Measure K signs in prominent locations. Not me, I've been teaching at Gilbert High School. The ASTA office is in the middle of hosting 9 nights of phone banking, which runs from 4 to 8 p.m. each night. The association is proud to have committed so much time to such a worthy measure. After passage, ASTA would like to be part of the Bond Oversight Committee to make sure that member voices are part of the discussion. Negotiations are beginning next week on Tuesday. We're looking forward to discussing the articles that we have sunshined, and our hope is that we'll wrap this settlement up quickly before the winter break. So thank you very much.
Thank you, James. I like that you said when it passes. All right, Jennifer Sasai.
Good evening, Madam President Randall Trejo, Board of Trustees, Executive Cabinet, students, parents, and school community joining us in person and online. I am honored to share with you the exciting developments happening across our district, showcasing our commitment to student growth, civic engagement, and cultural exchange. We recently celebrated a milestone with the ribbon cutting of the MAC Freight Farm, a unique project that embodies innovation and sustainability. This initiative not only provides our students with hands-on experience in sustainable farming in ways that prepares them for future careers in a green economy. The Freight Farm allows students to engage in real-world problem solving using modern technology to address food production and food desert challenges. We are proud to lead in this forward-thinking endeavor. Civic engagement remains a cornerstone of our district's mission. Through coordinated voter registration efforts at our high school, we empower students to participate in the democratic process, ensuring that they are informed, registered, and ready to vote when the time comes. Additionally, our social science departments have taken the initiative to organize mock elections, giving students practical understanding of the electoral processes and the importance of civic duty. These activities instill the values of citizenship to help shape responsible future voters. Our schools have enthusiastically embraced Latinx Heritage Month with a range of activities, identity lessons, and cultural events that celebrate the rich contributions of the Latinx community. Our teachers and staff recently participated in site-based ed summits where professional learning took center stage. These summits are developed as part of our ongoing efforts to support staff development with a focus on innovation, teaching strategies, equity in education, and improving student outcomes. The collaborative nature of these summits ensure that our educators are continuously growing and refining their practices to meet the evolving need of our students. Our AUHSD College and Career Fair at the Anaheim Convention Center provided students with critical exposure to post-secondary opportunities. This event connects students with colleges, universities, trade shows, and potential employers, offering them a wealth of information to guide their decisions after graduation. By empowering our students with options, we help them envision their future paths and make informed decisions about the career. Our district is also a hub for global exchange, enriching our schools with international perspectives. Currently, we have 26 students from countries such as Germany, Italy, Australia, and more enrolled at 6 of our campuses. Oxford and Western have welcomed students from China, Japan, and France, while Savannah has had its own opportunity to host teachers from China for professional development. Looking ahead, we anticipate nearly 20 additional visits before the end of the school year. Schools including Cypress, Kennedy, Western, Savannah, Oxford, Catella, Walker, and Lexington are scheduled to host students from Japan, Mexico, France, China, and Thailand. In fact, Savannah will soon welcome 14 principals from China for one-day professional development. These experiences foster global citizenship and deepen our students' and educators' understanding of the world. Lastly, our junior high schools have wrapped up the first quarter sports season. Congratulations to the following undefeated seasons: for 8th grade flag football from Sycamore and Walker, 8th grade girls volleyball from Lexington and Sycamore, boys tennis from Oxford and Dale, 7th grade football teams, flag football teams from Sycamore and Walker, and 7th grade girls volleyball team from Walker. In closing, our district continues to shine as a leader in fostering academic excellence, civic responsibility, cultural inclusivity, and global engagement. These initiatives reflect our unwavering commitment to providing students with opportunities that shape their future and better world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sasai. Were there any other folks from associations that I didn't see if you were here, MMA or AFSCME? All right. Thank you all. We appreciate your reports. Is Laura Allen here or anyone from PTA? All right. All right, moving on to our fiscal service internal controls presentation and deferring to Dr. Nguyen.
Well, good evening. Madam President, members of the board, members of the public, it was requested that we give an overview of some of our internal processes, how we run the business office. But before I do give the overview, I want to give the board and the public a little bit of our background, and I'm going to be asking Karen as well as Joe to kind of give, the board some of our experiences. I know you guys know us, but I just want to make sure that some of you guys know what the other things we have done prior to getting here. So I'm in my 24th year in the school business arena. I started as a budget manager, managing special ed budgets, and I became a director of budgeting and accounting. And then I'm in my 18th year now as the CBO for school district. So 24th year at this point. So I have a lot of accounting and budgeting background and some of the internal controls. So I just want to share that piece. So to give you guys some background of what we do prior of getting even to here. So as you know, maybe you may not know, I have 8 directors that work directly for me. So we have the fiscal piece, which is Karen is our the executive director of fiscal services. Joe Carmona is our controller. Then we have the facilities piece, which you can see is Patty Neely, who is the executive director for facilities maintenance and operation, and Quentin Riles is our director for maintenance and operation. We also have Leanna, who is the risk management and insurance director. She is also the interim director for purchasing, as we are have an interim there right now. Orlando is our director for food services, and Scott Singren oversees the transportation department. So we cover variety of operations. So what I tell people is anything other than HR and education, it is ours. So that's kind of a good way to kind of distinguish what we do and what other people do. And really, our division serves 3 main functions. First, the financial management. We oversee the budgeting, accounting, and the financial reporting for the district. Second is compliance. Ensure that we adhere to the education codes, board policies, state and federal laws. And the third services is to manage the day-to-day financial operations, including long-term fiscal planning for the district. So things like payroll, purchase order, things like that. And so we're going to go into a little bit detail about that in a couple slides. So in terms of the oversight, there are threefold. First, we have the regulatory framework. We operate under a complex network of regulation, including educational code, board policy, state and federal laws. The second will be the governing bodies. We are governed by GASB, that is the Government Accounting Standard Board, so they give us different numbers of what things we have to do, and it's pretty extensive, and we get updates on that constantly from our auditor, what are being required from the district. Second would be something called CSAM, the California School Accounting Manual, which is about 600 pages, and so we do go through and see how are things being coded, what's required. There's all these accounting strings that we have to follow, and this is part of the accounting structure as having the background of the budgets as well as accounting side. There's a lot of things that we have to adhere to how we set up our budgets as well. Then the guide for annual audits of K-12 local educational agencies. And next one here is more on the facilities division of state architect. Any of our projects, because they're on a school district property, has to go to this division of state architect. And we hear that a lot, called DSA. And so any projects can be small or big, they all have to go through this division of state architect. Next one is food services, the National School Lunch Act, so we have to follow that. And then the Code of Federal Regulations, as well as the California Public Contract Code, are just some of the rules that we have to follow. So there's a lot of different things we do have to adhere to for this. Then the last would be the diverse compliance areas. So the regulations will cover accounting, auditing, facilities, nutrition, procurement, to ensure that we have comprehensive oversight of all these areas. So I'm going to talk about the annual audit process. So EDCO 41020 mandates that annual audits for school districts are required annually to ensure financial transparency. They are due by December 15th each year and presented to the Board of Education, usually by January. So as you remember, our auditor or the partner do come in January after the report is submitted to the state by December 15th. We do have additional audits. The main one I'm going to bring up, this is a separate audit, is for the Prop 39, which we talked about, the bond fund. That is a separate audit that the auditors perform on that. And that will ensure the proper use of resources and was laid out in the resolution and how the bond was passed. And I'm proud to say that we have clean record. The district has maintained a clean audit record with no financial findings since 2013. because we had the last 2 auditors that's been the partner with us, we went back and we make sure and we talk to them and say, let us know, is there anything that we have done? We want to make sure that we go back and see what are some of the things that we have. And so there are some minor, I would say, some of the school side, certain kind of processes, and then we do correct them. But in terms of financial audits, we have not had any since 2013. So very proud of our team and all the work that we have done so far. And I do want to talk about the Prop 39 bond audit, since that is a separate audit than what our annual financials. Our annual financials audit the general fund, for example, so all the things we take into the board, any of the food services funding, any type of any fund from the state as for the matching fund, for example, for facilities, any of those funds will be under the general audit. Then we have a separate audit, a separate contract with the auditor that audits the Prop 39 funding. And this was passed, the Prop 39 was passed back in November 2000. And basically, it established the requirements, what's required in the audit. So you have 2 types. It's called the annual financial audit, which is the board reviews the independent financial audit required by Prop 39. And the second thing is called the annual performance audit. And the performance audit basically is to ensure the funds have been expended only for a specific project that was listed when the resolution was taken and then when the bond was passed at that point. There is also the requirement, which was talked to about the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. So the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee is a requirement as part of Prop 39 funding. And the committee informs the public on the bond expenditures of the bond revenues to ensure that they were only expended for the purposes that's described in the California Constitution. And so it is very important that we have that committee, and if measure, passes, then we would have to have a separate Citizens Bond Oversight Committee for that purpose. We currently still have the Measure H committee that is still at this place at this point, and then that will come off once the funds are done. And so there's still the committee that would exist until like every single dollar that's been audited as well. So it's one thing once you spend a dollar, but you also have to have the audit. Then the committee will exist when there's still any type of auditing that goes on. So I want to make sure that the public is aware of that as well. And so as part of the Prop 39, we were also, I had the opportunity to do some of the refinancials for some of the prior bonds, and just wanted to recap for the board some of the things that has happened this past year. In April of 2024, the district's credit rating from Moody's was upgraded to a positive outlook in AA2. This reflected the district's good governance, strong financials, and prudent practices. And in July of 2024, the district was able to get an upgrade from Fitch from a AA- to a AA back in July. And it highlighted that the district have strong operating performances as well as fiscal responsibility. And I was always told that it's very, very difficult to get an upgrade, and I have proved them wrong, that we're able to get an upgrade even in this kind of environment. So very thankful for the staff and all the work that everyone has done as part of the staff. And due to the credit rating improvement, we were able to do the refinance for some of the prior bonds, saving taxpayers $4.2 million. So all the things we are doing is our internal controls that we do. It all reflected when we go to the credit ratings and things like that. And so I will now turn over to our controller, Joe Carmona. He's going to talk about some of the internal controls. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, board and cabinet. So I know that we have many visitors here tonight who maybe did not plan to stay through a presentation about internal controls. So I will not be offended if you get up and leave now. Don't feel the need to stay longer than after you've been recognized. Just want to give you that opportunity. As Dr. Nguyen said, I have been a staff member in the district for over 20 years. I was a social science teacher in another school district, and I started out as a site assistant principal, a principal. I became a district level director, working with state and federal programs. I had the great opportunity to help oversee and implement about $200 million in pandemic funding that came to the district. Obviously, those were very challenging times for our communities and our staff, but it also gave significant financial resources to the district that we implemented in a number of very impactful ways. And for the last 3 years, I have served in the role as controller, overseeing our accounting and payroll department. So just understanding that this term, internal controls, so this is defined as our policies and procedures that we use to ensure reliable financial reporting. We implement these policies and procedures for several reasons. One is for efficiency, to ensure that we have procedures and processes that allow the district to operate in an efficient manner. We also implement these to comply with applicable laws and regulations. So as Dr. Nguyen stated, we are beholden to a number of different laws, education codes, different professional standards that we have to meet in order to adequately perform our roles as a school district. And lastly, to mitigate risk. Internal controls help identify these risks and reduce the risks. It's important to note here that there is always some kind of risk in any activity that we undertake, right? We took a risk walking in from the parking lot, right? We could have tripped, we could have fallen, right? So we mitigate those risks by having lights, right? By having clearly maintained asphalt, right? So risk will never be eliminated, right? There will never be a time when there is no risk, right? These internal controls are to mitigate and to reduce that risk as much as possible. So the district's approach in implementing internal controls, again, this is to ensure our financial integrity. And there's several areas that I'll talk about, and we'll give a few examples, okay? So some areas of internal control are separation of duties, restricted access to security controls, right? So certain people have access to only certain areas of our financial systems. The annual audit, as Dr. Nguyen discussed already, accounting procedures and reconciliations, cash disbursements review, cash flow, and budget monitoring. So I'm going to go through a few examples. I just want to touch on budget monitoring here for a moment. Budget monitoring happens at a variety of levels, right? There are required updates to the budget that are shared publicly with the board, right? So that happens on a regular basis. Additionally, myself, along with Karen and the rest of our budget staff, meet regularly with our district directors and site level principals, right? To help them understand their budget, work through how can they use it effectively, and answer any questions that they may have, right? And then the third item here is approval workflows. And Karen will talk a little bit more about that later, but that these have multiple levels of approval. One person cannot authorize an action from start to end, right? So that's a very important component to our internal controls. So separation of duties. So just again, a quick definition here. That, as I said, this prevents a single person from controlling an entire process or activity, right? The reason to do this is really to prevent fraud, right? And theft within an organization, right? So if I can say I'm going to pay something and determine how much is paid and then issue that payment and I control that all myself, that is an opportunity for fraud, right? And so that is why we have a separation of duties for those different tasks. It's also to help reduce and catch errors, right? Errors are a natural part of any process, right? There is no such thing as being error-free, right? So just like we describe the learning process with our students, right? We expect them to make errors. The errors help us become better teachers, right? So errors actually help us become better within our processes as well, right? We can identify the weaknesses in the system, improve them, or eliminate them to the extent possible, right? And then finally, separation of duties also aids in protecting sensitive information from misuse or unauthorized access. one of our student speakers talked about, right? Potential misuse of information, right? So that is why separation of duties is so important. So an example. So this example that I'm going to share, there are 5 steps involved, which will include 4 different staff members. This is to deposit one payment to the district, right? So the initial recording of that payment comes to the district office. An accounting technician, right, so we'll call that staff member A, records the check or payment in a log, right, and that begins the process. The second step is a separate accounting staff member, who we'll call staff B, enters the check as a receipt in the general ledger, right, and also what we call the general fund, right, so that, right, so the payment comes in, it gets recorded on the log, it gets put into the general ledger. The third step, a senior account technician, right, staff C, prepares the check for deposit, adding that additional layer of oversight. The fourth step is those cash receipts or deposits are balanced against the deposited checks. So we take all the checks, so I'll use 5 checks, they totaled $5,000. We look in the general ledger. We look at the receipts for that day. Does it total $5,000? Does it total more than that? Less, right? So those have to reconcile, right? That is done by a 4th staff member, right? Staff D. And then all of that is sent down to the Orange County Department of Education, who actually records and deposits those funds, right? Completing the multi-step secure process, right? So we have, again, the 5 steps, 4 different staff members here who are responsible for that, and then it also goes down to the county, who actually completes that deposit. So this is just one example, right, of a separation of duties within the accounting department. My second example that I'm going to share is an example within payroll, right? So you may wonder, why would we need to talk about payroll? We want people to get paid, right? But payroll is a very significant portion of our budget, and Karen will touch on that a little bit more as well. And so we want to make sure that people are paid accurately, right? People are not reporting things that they should not be paid for. And so, again, we were talking about here you have 4 steps, 3 different people involved, including the county, right? So a human resources technician inputs the employee's data and initiates the payroll process, right? So human resources says, Joe Carmona gets paid this amount, right? That all goes into the system, right? So then that is sent over to the payroll technician. The payroll technician processes that payroll and generates the reports, right? So the payroll technician says, okay, I see Joe Carmona is here. He's been issued this amount. They verify, oh, where is that in the board approval? Where is that in the contract? Where is that on the salary schedule, right? Oh, wait a second, this doesn't match the salary schedule. This can't be the right pay assignment for this person, right? So there's that process that goes back and forth. The payroll supervisor reviews and approves all of the payroll before submission. And then payroll is actually issued, again, by the Orange County Department of Education. We do not write the payroll checks here at the district, right? The county performs that function. They review our information and sometimes say, hey, we have a question about what was submitted, right? And so they provide the final authorization and issue the payroll disbursement, right? So again, that's just paying one person, right? So 3 different staff, including the Orange County Department of Ed, right? Those separation of duties. And so with that, I am going to turn it over to Karen, who will finish out our presentation.
Thank you. Good evening, Board and Cabinet. I'm going to present to you 2 different workflows that are critical for internal controls. Our first workflow is regarding how do we make a payment, our purchasing workflow. We are online with the Orange County Department of Education with the purchasing system, which provides several different layers of approvals at various levels. And it provides, like Joe touched on, there is no single person that was responsible from beginning to end. There are 5 steps in this approval level. First, you have the senior admin who will enter what we call the purchase request, the PR, and that's at the school side or a district level senior admin. From that point, the principal approves the purchase rec or a district administrator, and then accounting verifies the account code on it and also the budget. From there, it goes to our purchasing department where they create the PO. Once a PO is created, it's sent over to accounting for payment. Now, accounting cannot process that PO until they have a signed approved invoice and the board approval and the signed contract or agreement. Once they have all that information, they put it in the system, goes down to Orange County Department of Education. They send a list to the accounting department every day that where they audit. They pick items to audit. So that is, and then once they approve that, they issue a warrant to the vendor. Our next workflow is our position control. This is a system ensuring fiscal responsibility and procedures. It also provides and creates an accurate database for all positions in the district. And this is critical because approximately 80% of our expenditures are related to staff. So the workflow for position control is there's 3 departments that are responsible. In business, we create the position in the database and reconcile what we call FTE, full-time equivalent, to the allocations. This is important because you want to know how many you're allocating, like 30 staff to a school site, but you have 32 people. Well, you might have 2 part-time positions. So 2 part-time positions, if they're 50-50, would be 1 FTE. So this is important to reconcile the staffing. Human Resources is responsible for hiring the employee and entering all the employee information in the HR screen along with the pay rates. They are the only ones that can enter the pay rates. I can't enter them, Joe can't enter them. They're the only department. Next, it goes to the payroll department where they verify the information that HR entered, and they also then pay the employees once they are board approved. I have to back up because I forgot to tell you a little bit about my background. So before I'm finished, I've been with the district for 22 years. I started at Dale Junior High working there, and then I came to the district, and I was a senior account technician. I was then promoted to the budget manager, then to the controller, and in my current position as Executive Director of Fiscal Services. I oversee the budget, the attendance, and accounting and payroll. So thank you very much, and Dr. Neen will come back up and answer any questions.
Well, thank you so much, Karen and Joe, for the in-depth process, and we are here to answer any questions that you may have. So we just want to make sure that this is only a portion of what we do. We want to just kind of make it easy so you understand, but as you can see, every process, there's multiple people that are doing the work. And so we are thankful that we have, we're a big enough district, we have enough staff that we're able to have a lot of the separations of duties. But we are now happy to answer any questions that the board may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy, Karen, and Joe. That was an amazing presentation. Any questions?
Yeah, you talked about the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. Like, how big is that committee, and how are people chosen for that?
So there's, perfect, great question. So in that, there usually minimum of 7. And so you have in different categories, for example. So you may have a parent that's, so you have like a parent, you also have somebody who is a senior citizen. So that's different categories, like 4 different separate categories. You have a person who's on the more on the taxpayer association, and also just a general public community members. And so usually it's a minimum of 7 people, and then you can go up from there, but there is a minimum. And so in that process, what we do, we will have an application out, and that's how all the other members were selected. And so then you would apply to which category that you belong to. So you have to say, well, I belong to this category, I belong to this. And you can always, mark different ones if you belong to multiple categories. And then there is the interview process, and we would love for the public to be involved. Most of the time it's hard to actually find people who will want to. And so we're very, very grateful to the members that we currently have. They do take out their time. Usually they meet afternoons on like at 3 o'clock. We try to make sure that they can get a tour of some of the latest project. And so we do meet with them most of the time at the school site, so they can see what are some of the different things and present to them all the financials. And then the auditor does come out and meet with the group to let them know what the audit report was about. And then they come to the board meeting, usually March or April, to present their annual report to the board. So I think it's a very, very exciting opportunity. I myself was a chair for a bond oversight committee in the community that I lived in. I was the chair for about 3 years, and it's really good to know what is happening and to get the kind of first see of a lot of the projects. And we do take them as the projects are ongoing. We don't just take them when it's completed. We take them throughout the process so they can see. And they meet about, I would say, at least 3 to 4 times a year minimum, yeah, and we've been doing at least quite a bit. And any type of, when we have any ribbon cutting or any kind of thing, they also invited to attend with us as well. So we do need volunteers for that committee as well. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes. Oh, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm assuming that this system applies to all school districts.
Yes.
Then last year when we read about what happened in a local school district, a huge amount of money. If this oversight, explain that. How did that happen?
Oh, well, I think part of it is we have a very, very tight internal control in our district. And we did speak to our auditor. This is something that that we all take it extremely seriously. And it's unfortunate that incident that happened. And, you can read the entire report. I think the reports are very, very long report, but a lot of us did read it because that's something that we're very, passionate about. It's just the way I think you need to make sure that you have the process in place. And that, for example, when we close the books, for example, and how we check to see, we look at multiple years of records. For example, when we're closing books, Joe would do one set of stuff, and then Karen as well. And then I actually do the final check. I will go through and I'll check and I'll balance the books and I'll look and say, does this make sense? Is all the accruals done? There's a lot of different steps, but as you can see, we are a big enough school district. We have enough personnel that we're able to have a much tighter internal control compared to other smaller districts. And I think that will be the difference, that we have a lot of, if you can see, it took 5 different people just for something to go through. So it touches that many hands. And I'm going to tell you, we have extremely tight system. And I know even getting a reimbursement, I know our staff can tell you, we ask for a lot of documentation, a lot of documentation. And right. I know Jose Laura is like, yes. And we have very strict rules, and so we're like, no, we need the actual receipt, we need this, and we need this, and we need this. And I know that is maybe a burdensome for a lot of for people to even submit a reimbursement. Some people, some principals like, you know what, I'm not even gonna submit because it takes all this documentation. But the reason why we do that is because we wanna make sure that we are tight with our process, because we do get audited for that too. And if we get audited for that, then if something is not right, then we get a finding. And our job really is to make sure that we minimize all the risk for the district. And so, yes, we are very, very tight. I'm sorry to all the principals and all the staff. When we submit anything, we go through line by line. We check every single item, and it goes to multiple people, right? I mean, even a lot of people, anybody submit anything. I mean, I sign a lot of the reimbursements, and I go through the stuff and say, okay, is this line item? And I've rejected a lot of stuff too. So I'm sorry, but we have processes in place. There are requirements that we have to meet. And so I think because we have enough staffing that we're able to have separation duties. We're in maybe a smaller district, they may not have enough staff. And I came from smaller district is where, you could have maybe the process instead of 5 people, you only have 2 people. And maybe even smaller districts, I wonder maybe they could maybe only have like 1 person. Right, and then somebody does the work, and the director would basically sign off and then approve all the stuff. But we have multiple layers. It takes a lot of more hands to go through the process in our district.
We appreciate that,
It's
Nancy.
reassuring, thank you.
Yes, thank you to you and your team for the presentation highlighting the different guardrails that we have. I did have a question on the bond audit. Can you explain a little bit the difference between the performance audit and the financial audit?
Oh, okay, definitely. So the financial audit would be the same thing. They would go through and check all the expenditures and double check, for example, and I'm pretty sure about this. I think, for example, the last audit for the bond funds, about 65% to almost 80%, right? Depending, almost 80% this last year. Those items are audited because, for example, you have a contract, and some of the construction costs, as you know, it's quite high, right? And so they would literally take the contract and go through line by line, and they would double check and say, okay, does this, for example, like for the bond, they would make sure how it was processed, like how if you were to bid out the project and how will you bid out. So the entire contract, right, and as well as all the invoices, all the POs that were associated with that, and any of your contract. And so they would go through line by line and basically random. It's not that random sample because they basically audit almost every single contract. I would say almost 80% of the contract for the facilities for that bond fund. For that purpose, and they will go through and make sure that all the expenditures are proper expenditures. So that's a fiscal side. The performance audit is really if that project was listed as part of the resolution that went to the board, and when it was voted on, what are those items? Were they part of that program? So if you say that there's, let's say, I don't know, I'm going to give, this may not be a good example, but let's say the parking lot at the school. Most of the time parking lots is included, but let's say the fire hydrant or something like that. And if that wasn't part of your description inside your resolution, then that item is actually not something that you can code inside, you can spend as part of that. So that's a performance audit. Right, so it's a little different. It's one thing to spend the money properly, but it's another thing are those items as part of your program that you're supposed to. And that's also the job of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee as well. Their job is really to review all the expenditures. And so we want to make sure, because sometimes you're like, oh, what about like, do I get to pick a project? Well, that's like the board's direction. It's different than that. And obviously, having been on myself been on the CBOC committee, I have to make sure I have to, focus on just the expenditure. And that's part of the job as being on the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Karen, on the approval workflows, did I hear you right? Even on purchasing items, that OCDE audits that? So, and you said, did I hear you correctly, like on a daily basis?
Yes, every day when accounting processes an invoice for payment, they send a list of vendors, and they want the backup. They want the invoice, PO, contract, agreements, board approval.
Wow, wow, I didn't know that. So that was really eye-opening.
Yes.
So we're, as you said, guardrails in every area. So we know you work hard, and as a board member, I have gotten complaints about how long it takes to get reimbursed, so, but this is why. And so we really appreciate the three of you bringing us this presentation, and we really appreciate the hard work, and thank you so much. I think now this really highlights how efficient we are and how secure we are. And so I hope this lays to rest any further questions in that area. And this is great because you don't have to do this presentation again. We can just take this and give it to other folks to look at. So thank you for your dedication and your hard work and the whole department. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay.
I also have to say, apologize for the popping tonight. Our system is old, and this kind of gives reason to why we need another board, a bond measure, because, you know, we don't have funding for our district office microphone system. So, you know, I know a lot of other districts have what's the word I'm looking for? Renovated, thank you, their district's offices, and, you know, I think we're still in 1960-something with this office. We love it, we appreciate it, but we could use some renovation here, too. So, moving on to item 8.2, science education for equitable, just, sustainable future. And I'm deferring to Dr. Fried.
Well, it is my honor to bring up Jessica Yett. She's our outstanding curriculum specialist for science. She has a team with her tonight. And just as they get ready to share, I don't want to be a spoiler, but I would invite you to think about our core values. The education must work for students, not the other way around. And also, I'm thinking about how we deliver our core values primarily through instruction. You're going to see tonight, I think, in the presentation, just a snapshot of the great work happening in our schools and our classrooms being done by our amazing teachers and our partners. I would also encourage you to think about, too, our community school approach and our community school movement, knowing that we're a leader, really not just in the state, but in the country, in the way that we approach community schools. And you're going to see tonight just how we bring local issues, concerns into the classroom, in this case, specifically science classrooms, to make impact. So with that, I'm going to turn over to Jessica.
Thank you so much, board, cabinet, and the AUHSD community. We are very appreciative for this opportunity to share with you the work that our teachers and our students have been doing over the past 2 years. So as they mentioned, CJUST is science education for an equitable, just, and sustainable future. And this is a unique research practice partnership with UCI's School of Education. Part of what made this partnership so unique was how incredibly aligned it was with our district's drivers. And the program was thoughtfully designed to support our teachers in empowering our students to become those change agents in using science to improve their communities and create a positive impact. So my name is Jessica Yett. I am the Science Curriculum Specialist, and I am proud to represent our CJUST team here this evening. We have Dr. Ho-Sun Kang, Nellie Tsai, and Dr. Sabina Giacomus. Also on the screen, you'll see our past year's team of teachers. Over the 2 years, we have represented over 25 teachers from 11 school sites, including education specialists, and representing all 5 of our core science courses. In this research practice partnership, we asked, how could we support our teachers to cultivate student voice and agency through civic action in the context of climate change within an NGSS unit of study? Part of the educational research included selecting some focus teachers, and our Magnolia Chem team was part of the focus teachers. So today we're excited to share a glimpse of the impact of this work through their reflections. Now, I invite any of you who have taken high school chemistry to try and think back to your experience learning chemical equilibrium. The CJS Chem teachers designed a unit around the topic of equilibrium and the guiding question, how can we produce enough food to meet demand while reducing environmental impact? During this unit, the students learned about the Haber process, the production of synthetic fertilizers, as well as regenerative farming practices, including composting. To learn a little bit more, I invite Alex to share his reflections.
Good evening. It's been a year since I first stepped into chemistry. My name is Alex Wynn, a junior from Magnolia High School. I took this course with Ms. Reagan last year. And during this unit of study, I explored soil analysis, understanding how potassium, phosphorus, and nitrogen create ideal conditions for growth, using the MAC as a living laboratory. So after learning about soil health, I was able to create a civic action project that connected my knowledge to the real world. You see, this civic project was a presentation where I demonstrated that creating the right soil environment is crucial for human health. Inspired by this, I brought my knowledge home and applied what I learned by recycling vegetable scraps to nourish the soil in my backyard, using regenerative practices such as diversity planting and cover cropping to grow strawberries and spinach in my own backyard. These hands-on practices have strengthened my passion for improving lives. It shaped the way I chose a career in medicine. It fueled the way I want to continue advocating for healthy living and making a positive impact on my community. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nicholas. I'm a senior at Magnolia High School, and during the 22-23 school year, I was a student in Miss Reagan's chemistry class. In this class, we studied the harmful effects of the Haber process used on traditional American farms. As a student, I was tasked with finding a more sustainable way to meet food demands of our community. We created a capstone project which suggested policy changes we wanted to see in American agriculture. As a group, we decided we wanted to see farms incentivized to implement less use of pesticides, diversity cropping instead of monocropping, and decreasing the amount and depth of tilling on our soil. All of these practices create a healthier soil, not only to grow food for a changing climate and a growing population, but also for a healthier ecology and promotes biodiversity. After this unit, I was inspired to apply to the MAC Summer Internship in order to further my understanding of sustainable agricultural practices. During my time in this internship, my cohort worked on finding a way to inform the AUHSD community about where their food comes from. Because of this internship, I gained valuable work and leadership skills and found the confidence to run for and become president of the MAC Club at my school. In closing, my experience in Miss Reagan's science class was different from traditional science classes because it empowered us to critically engage with real-world issues, think about food equity in our community, and consider policy solutions that can have an impact on our food systems. Thank you.
My name is Mrs. Voregan. I am a chemistry teacher at Magnolia High School. In my journey of involving students in civic engagement, I had two roadblocks, and the CJS program helped me tremendously. I was seeking bringing science and chemistry into the unit without restricting the power of students' free choices. And the other roadblock was I really wanted to see genuine concerns and honesty about going into action projects. Dr. Kang introduced a so-called living map and flipping it. In my classes, it translated into groups of students working together on a matrix, in particularly on a map, when they mapped vegetables, fruit, produce, how it comes from the farm through different stages to the dinner table. We revisited this map throughout the 6 weeks of this unit, and then the time came when we had to flip the entire map, meaning we explored the human aspect of it. Centering people was a game changer, eliciting genuine interest and care for science, and we were able to make stronger action plans. So I'm very thankful for CJST and Dr. Kang.
Hello, my name is Emily Pack, and I'm another chemistry teacher at Magnolia High School. First of all, I really want to thank the board and the UCI team for the opportunity that we've had the past 2 years to really engage in the process. Civic action, or engaging my students in civic action, like Ms. Reagan talked about, was in a meaningful way, was really a challenge for me. But with this program, it really allowed me to think how I teach chemistry, not just in this unit, but as a whole, and to make that storyline something that students could really visualize. They were able to take, students were able to take all that they had learned throughout the whole school year to really affect change on an issue, or bothering, we called it, that they felt really strongly about, that they kind of gathered from this unit. So again, I'm really thankful to have had this opportunity.
Hello, my name is Daniel Liu, and I was a science teacher at Magnolia High School. I had the opportunity to serve as a teacher researcher, and I took off my evaluative teacher hat and put on a learning from students hat. I learned from our students and learned how they approach civic engagement. Who were they interacting with, and how were they interacting? So we developed a civic action matrix to help visualize civic engagement in the classrooms. For who they were interacting with, we noticed that they were interacting on either an individual level or a systemic level, so large-scale interaction. Or we also noticed how they were interacting, whether they were just spreading awareness or actually doing an action project. Most of our students we were seeing were individual awareness, so we hope that visualizing it on a civic action matrix can help teachers scaffold and support students, but also for students to reflect on the action that they're taking so that we can diversify civic engagement to look not like the current model, but the reimagined model. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Hosan Kang, Associate Professor in the School of Education at UC Irvine. It is my great pleasure to be part of this amazing team and learn from students and amazing teachers over the last 2 years. We have a lot of hard time to select the story that we would like to share here. We have a lot more stories actually. If you'd like to learn more about the outcome of our work together and wanted to see more example of student work, we printed out the newsletter from the second year. And also please feel free to come to our project website, cjust.com, so you can see more. We'd like to expand our deep gratitude to the board and cabinet for your support for about this ongoing professional development and partnership. Thank you.
So as you can see, there's a lot of gratitude in this room for this very powerful work in working with the UCI School of Education, UCI researchers, and really further deepening the network of teachers working with their students in community. We have a call to action to continue this collective work in empowering our teachers, to empower our students as change agents, to go beyond learning about climate issues and go beyond learning about community issues to taking that informed action. So part of our next steps is that we hope to continue this work, but through a transdisciplinary approach. And what we mean by that is we would like to have science teachers working alongside other content area teachers in addressing climate issues and working with their students to take action. So at this time, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Alex and Nicholas, I am extremely proud of you for all the work. I know you have done so much work and so much research, and you've put your heart and soul into your own education. And I'm very envious of you, because if I would have had this type of education, I think that I might have gone into the science area. But thank you for demonstrating how powerful you are. I'm really, really looking forward to what you're going to be doing in the future. And please let us know, let your teachers know in the future what you plan to do. And stay in touch with them. And teachers, just so grateful for all the work that you've done. This is innovative. This is new. This is hasn't been done before, and we really appreciate all of the dedication and the long nights and the hours. And thank you for our partnership with UCI. Did anyone have any questions of our panel or anything else to say?
I just wanted to highlight, I glanced over the newsletter. It impacted over 3,000 students, 20 science teachers, and across 10 middle and high schools. And I think that's incredible work. So thank you all for showcasing this work tonight.
Mm-hmm. Jessica, do you have a waiting list now?
So we're hoping to continue this work. There is a grant that's being submitted, and we are working with some teachers to kind of collaborate in the meantime to see how we can keep this momentum going. So we have a few teachers we're working with, and we'll see how our little, I guess you could say, pilot of collaboration across content areas works this year.
Fantastic.
Then we'll see about the waiting list.
That's a woohoo! Yeah.
I know. Well, I think it's time to buy a new Patty Neely's out there. Maybe Patty.
All right. Please don't be timid, but our public comments are up next. Katrina Arroz, are you here? Katrina Arroz? Janelle Fries?
Janelle left.
Janelle left, okay. Dr. Laura.
Hello, board, community members. First of all, I really appreciate it. I'm not Dr. Lara. I am Mr. Lara. I just want to say that just out of respect for those who have done a lot of work and earned that doctor title. A few of them are back there, so I just want to first clear that. But I just want to say thank you to the board for continuing to support Gilbert High School and supporting our students. Each one of you have come to our campus, shown amazing grace, and just really supporting our students. Today I'm here to talk about the licensing agreement. It's a contract for SEL curriculum. And I want to thank Nancy and Joe Carmona and Karen Orr for their presentation as well, Dr. Nin, I should say, because we've been trying to get this through all the checks and balances on this board agenda for a while now, and it's finally here, and my teachers have been waiting for this curriculum in order to be able to implement it. So all those checks and balances are in place, and they're for a reason. And even though this is coming out of grant money, sometimes my teachers get really frustrated by all the different layers that have to go through approval to make sure that funding is there and available. But I'm finally glad it's here on the agenda. It's a 5-year curriculum, a 5-year contract for a curriculum that's going to be able to implement social emotional learning for our students. And you see the passion and you see the types of students that we receive at Gilbert that come from throughout the district. We're doing phenomenal things, and this is going to help us really achieve to the next level. So muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much for your continued support of Gilbert. Have a great night.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 10, items of business, educational services, 10.1, school-sponsored student organizations. This is an action item.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded, and you get to vote on this item. Aaron, I had a question on one of the items, and I just wanted to point out a couple of things. I just really want to give a shout out to the students and staff who really gave us a thorough application. We really appreciate it as a board to know exactly what these clubs are going to, or student organizations are going to do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It helps us to make a decision on these. We don't just, blanket and go through and approve all of these student organizations. We really want them to be meaningful. Yes, we want you to also have some fun too, but we also want to know what you're going to be doing. So I appreciate that. There's a couple, and just, if you hear from our assistant superintendent about your application, we just really want to to extend again, we just really want to know what the purpose of your organization is, and I think I can speak as a board. We get these, and we just really want to know that you know what you're doing in this. We don't want students just saying, I want to start a club because it looks good on their, college application. I'll just be honest. So we really want to hear what you're doing, and one sentence really doesn't do it for us. We're going to go ahead and approve, I'm sure. The board wants to approve all of these, but a couple of them really doesn't extend to the intent of the group. So I'm just making that statement out there. All right. Any other comments or questions on these? Okay. All right.
Just concur with your comments.
Okay, thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolutions, 10.2, resolution number 2024/25-E-09, Great American Smokeout Escape the Vape Day 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and second. Any questions or comments?
I know that there's going to be a report out about the activities that they're going to be doing at the schools, because this is a elementary through high school thing, and I really want to see what's happening in the Anaheim Union High School District at our junior high schools and our high schools, and the activities that we're going to be offering our kids. When we come up with some good ideas, sometimes they could be replicated at schools and make meaningful differences for our students. So
Absolutely.
that's why I'm
And we
requesting
know
that.
Everyone works really hard on this event. So this is an action item and a roll call vote. Mr. Hoshi.
Aye.
Mr. O'Neill. Aye. Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero.
Aye.
And I vote aye. 10.3, resolution number 2024-25/BOT-01, compensation for board meeting. Moved and
Second.
seconded. This is a roll call vote. Mr. Hoshi.
Aye.
Mr. O'Neill. Aye. Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero.
I will abstain.
Right, and I vote aye. Okay, business services, 10.4, agreement, dietetic internship, Keith and Associates Distance, dietetic internship, action item.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
10.5, agreement, City of Anaheim Brookers Community Center, action item.
So moved. Second.
You're ready to vote. Any questions or comments on this?
I was asking who are the district job coaches, and there was an answer that they are adult transition instructional aides. So I just wanted to make that clarification.
All right, thank you for your question. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
10.6, community service agreement, Olive Crest, action item.
Slow moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any questions or comments?
Yes, I just had one question. How would this be promoted in our site or sites that are participating?
Olive Crest. So it's targeting certain profile of students with certain maybe challenges with their behavior or whatnot. So I know as the schools work with our staff, whether it be psychologists, social workers, counselors, case carriers. I'm assuming there's going to be an onboarding in terms of the program. I know Carlos can speak more to it, but they'll be aware of the program and who it's going to serve, so that way those students and their families can be given the opportunity. I know it's going to be piloted at Sycamore this year, so we're starting very local to one school, and then from that experience, the goal and the aspiration is to open up for all of our schools to be able to act, our families at all of our schools who could benefit from the service that this is providing. In terms of promotion, though,
That was what I was going to share. No, that's it. Sycamore was going to pilot, learn from them. How did they do marketing? What did the family say? How did it go? You know, strengths from that process, and then expanding across the district.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
10-7 agreement, Rodri Lumba, action item.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments on this? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
10-8 grant award, middle college and early college grant, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments on this item?
The new counselors are hired and placed,
Yeah,
so we're excited about that.
all right. All in favor?
Aye.
10-9 grant award, college and career access pathway grant, action item.
Second.
Any questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
10-10 agreement, California Department of Health Care Services Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
10-11 subaward agreement, Haluna Health, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved to second. Any questions or comments? All right, we're happy for this. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
10-12 agreement, California Department of Healthcare Access and Information Certified Wellness Coach, CWC, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments?
Yes, I just had one question. Can you clarify where the 20 wellness coaches will be located?
Yes, so they'll be at the ILCs and it's high school that it's connected with, so they're going to share a wellness coach. And then all the other schools that don't have an ILC, they'll share with their feeder junior high, high school and junior high.
Okay. Thank you.
I know we're going to have a presentation, I think in November on this too. I don't know, but I'm just ecstatic that we have these wellness coaches at our sites.
Are we? I don't think
I
we
read
have
something,
Yes,
but
Okay.
I may be mistaken, so.
We'll look into
but
that and see,
I'm-
but yeah.
I'm excited about
It
this, so
hasn't
thank you
started.
for the people who worked on this.
Maybe after it starts.
Yeah. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
10-13 licensing agreement, School Connect LLC, SEL curriculum, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
10-14 data use agreement, Correlion Behavioral Health, Inc., action item.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Is this the same Carillon as prescription drug that we use? 1014?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
I just hope we have a better implementation with this than we have had with the prescription plan. Dr. Nian?
We'll be closely
Ditto.
monitoring that,
This is
right?
obviously a very different service, but yes.
Yes, it's the same.
Carillon's Carillon.
Carolyn's.
All right, thank you for your comments. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
I think aye.
10-15 agreement, California Emerging Technology, oh my God, Technology Fund, thank you.
So moved.
Action item.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
10-16 memorandum of understanding, Pacific Symphony, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved in second. Questions or comments? Mr. Hoshi?
Well, our students get to work with professionals from the Pacific Symphony.
Yes.
I mean, wow, what a great experience.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
1017, Membership Accrediting Commission for Schools, Association of Schools and Colleges, WASC. Action item.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and we have two schools that are coming up, 2025.
I just had a question on this.
Mhm.
I know that CVA has WASC certification, but why aren't they on this list? It seems like all the other schools are on it.
Yeah, CVA is accredited, and their next accreditation, I believe, is in self-study in April of 2025. It's a self-study. I think they're accredited through June 30th, 2025 with that self-study. So they probably should be on that list. They are being accredited.
Okay.
Okay, so April.
Might want to check on it.
So, yeah.
Hilda's saying yes.
Hilda's saying, yes, what?
That information's correct that Jaren's saying.
Okay. Do they need to be added to this list? Okay.
I want to see if there's an exhibit. Yeah, we can check. If there is, we'll bring it back with the
You have to
amendment.
bring it back. You can't
Okay,
add
to
it.
amend it, all
Okay.
right.
Yep.
Good catch, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
1018, Revised Board Policy 6306, Substitute Teacher Salary Schedule, first and final reading action item.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 1019, Board of Trustees announcement of appointment/reappointment candidate of Personnel Commission member. This is an action item.
So moved.
I will second.
And I would like to recommend that we continue with Paul Andreessen.
Okay, I would second that as well. He has served us well and done a really great job.
Yes.
Okay, any questions or comments? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 1020, initial contract proposal, AUHSD to Anaheim Secondary Teachers Association information item. 1021, public hearing, initial contract proposal, AUHSD to Anaheim Secondary Teachers Association. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Okay, seeing none, moving on. Initial contract proposal, Anaheim Secondary Teachers Association to AUHSD, information item. 1023, opening a public hearing, initial contract proposal, Anaheim Secondary Teachers Association to AUHSD. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Okay, seeing none, moving on, closing the public hearing. I close the public hearing on the other one, too. 1024, memorandum of understanding with,
President, can we take 1024 through 1028 all at once?
I don't know, can we? All right.
I recommend that.
So memorandum of understanding with ASTA, with APGA, CSEA, AFSME, and MMA.
Yes.
Action item.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or comments? No? All right. All in favor?
I'm just glad to hear it's on the agenda.
Yes, likewise,
We are-
yes.
We are happy
Aye.
that's on the, aye from everyone, all right. 1029, revised board policy 6203.1, conflict of interest, first reading. Any questions or additions to this? Okay, seeing none, moving on. Consent calendar, any items to pull?
1110 and 1111. Move the balance.
Second.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
For the balance, all right, thank you. 1110, 1111.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, no, I'm not. Back off my eye.
Abstention?
Aye.
All right. Moving on to okay, superintendent and staff report, item 12.
So I have a few reports to share. So first, I think as the board knows, but just so the public knows too, Superintendent Matsuda is not here tonight because he's in Minnesota. There's a convening in Minnesota with grant makers, and these are where some of the largest foundations in the country convene and meet to talk about some of the social justice projects and things that they want to fund to be able to move the country in a more positive, healthy direction. And so the district has been the beneficiary of many grants over the years where our superintendent has been instrumental in helping to bring some of those grants to our district. I know we have the NCEP grant, which is Gear Up, which is over $2 million. We have our Chan Zuckerberg Institute grant. That's the one that we're doing with in partnership with UC Irvine and eCadence, and the way that we're looking at the way that we measure and look at the 5 C's, right, in the way that we measure student voice. We have a Stewart Foundation grant that we've received, the Carnegie Foundation grant that we've received. So I know that we're positioned potentially to receive another Hewlett Foundation grant. Hewlett, as you may recall, was the grant that we received that funded the visioning work that we did at 17 of our schools initially. So we're in talks with them to potentially receive more funding to support our work, which it doesn't just support the work, it can also support some staffing potentially, which helps with jobs, especially during difficult times. So that's where he is tonight. So, so he's not playing hooky or on vacation. He's actually working, but in Minnesota. The other thing I wanted to share is I just want to take a moment to thank our team. I know I see Allison here. I know Charles isn't here, but we had our college and career fair this week, which again is the largest in the world, Galaxy. I can't thank them enough, but our ed staff, I know our business and HR team plays a role. I'm looking at Scott and Rob and transportation, just a tremendous collective effort on all 3 of our departments to really put this amazing, massive event on. Also can't stop without thanking the staff at the school sites, both the teachers, the counselors, the admin who play a big role in preparing our students for this event. There's week-long lessons that our students interact with in preparing them, so it's a meaningful experience when they come to the fair. So again, just a school-wide, district-wide effort in making the event meaningful. So I just want to give that big shout out. Also want to take a moment to recognize the work of our family and community engagement team. I know Carlos, the work that you, AUHSD, and Kenny are doing. We, on Friday, had our family summit our annual family summit at Fullerton College. It's one of 3 that we do every year, the second being at Cal State Fullerton, the third being in the early summer at UC Irvine, where our families have an opportunity to spend the night in a res hall or a dorm to get the experience that many of our families unfortunately don't always get. So super cool. This Friday was the first of those experiences, and great turnout, great sessions for our families, and want to share that with all of you. And then lastly, this month is National Principals Month. It's also the week of the school administrator. So you're remiss if I didn't take a moment to just thank our amazing administrators at both the site level and the district level for the amazing work that they do. I know that it's an endless, sometimes thankless job, but they do an amazing, they put amazing efforts into the great work that they do in supporting our students, our families, and our community. So thank you.
Thank you for your report. Appreciate it. And let's give a round of applause to everyone. Yeah. That was an amazing feat the other night. My goodness.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah. No report.
Nancy?
Yes, so I want to take this time to acknowledge City of La Palma Council member Nitish Patel. He hosted about 30 Magnolia High School independent students at the La Palma City Hall, which our trustee O'Neill was there with me as well. He fed the students. They gave a tour of the City Hall and the police station as well. And the city manager, Kano McNamara, as well as the brand new police chief, Joe Guerrero, were present to talk to the student about how the city operates. And then the biggest thing is council member donated over 30 pairs of brand new Vans shoes to every student that was present at that event. So you know that he does for Hope School as well, but this is something new. And it's just so nice that another city hosting our students in that process. And they did a great presentation to the students, talk about some of their stories, how they came, and a lot of them are very interesting stories, so you should kind of check those out. But just want to make sure that we acknowledge his commitment to our students within our district, and not only students within La Palma. So really want to take the time to thank him and everybody on the staff there. And then we did attend quite a bit of City of Cypress events this week, so I want to thank Mayor Scott Menegas at City of Cypress for always being inclusive, of always inviting us to all the different events within the City of Cypress. And we were there along with Mr. Hoshi, and as well as Mr. O'Neill as well at the various events as well on those. And so I think it's important that we go to these events, and I'm very grateful that for the partnership we have with these cities as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nian. Carl? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. So I know we heard a lot of examples and from our students and folks that came up to the podium around our approach to whole child education. You heard student agency, voice and agency. We heard a lot about the importance of SEL in our classrooms and trauma-informed practice for not just for our students, for our parents as well and staff. And so, you know, with that, we also keep, as a district, we continue to build our resources and pedagogy around culturally relevant resources and literature and pedagogy within the classroom, putting it into the hands of our staff, our students, and our families. A big part of that is celebrating our cultures, and not all cultures, and on the heels of National Principals Month, we also have National Latinx and Hispanic Heritage Month in the month of October. And so as we continue this work, we have something that was highlighted in one of our social media posts. I believe John and his team put this on one of our social media posts. And it reads, during National Latinx Hispanic Heritage Month, we recognize and celebrate the inspiring accomplishments and achievements of Hispanic and Latinx individuals in the history of the United States. Today we honor Elizabeth Acevedo, a poet and author. And then we have one of our students who responded to that, Mia Renee. She's a 10th grader at Anaheim High School, and so here is her response. I love her books, and she's talking about Elizabeth Acevedo, especially Poet X, because I relate to it a lot. I believe kids in high school should read more books like hers because they open our eyes to the fact that we're not the only ones struggling. Her writings show us that we can find places where we feel heard and not alone. Poet X changed my perspective and made me more grateful for my life and family. So again, just from a testimony, we call the street data from our students in terms of what they want in classrooms, in the libraries, and as in the spaces that they are. So just kudos to the work that's being done by our district around our whole child approach to education.
Thank you. Erin, did you have anything else to report?
No, thank you.
All right, we appreciate you being here, staying all the
Are you
whole
ready for
meeting.
me? Wow, this has been a busy month. We started out, I think one of the first things, I did get to go to Savannah High School's back to school night, and then we got on a plane. Ms. Lindstrom from ROP, I see Mr. Hernandez and Mrs. Bean back there, along with dedicated Orangeview and Western teachers. We went on a visitation to San Mateo High School to gather information about the redesign of the Orangeview and Western schools. So we got so many great ideas from that visitation. I was at the Cypress RSVP Summit #1, and great job, Aaron. And went to the Kennedy Choir Show, and Mr. Belsky was there too, and had to go 2 nights because they had 2 different sets of soloists. So I wanted to see all their talented students. Let's see. Trustee Guerrero and I went to the Boys and Girls Club casino night at the ranch. We went also, all of us were at the ribbon cutting ceremony for Cypress High School. And like Dr. Nian said, we were also not only for the city of Cypress, but we went to Buena Park, State of the City luncheon, and where one of our OA students represented our district in saying the national anthem. Anaheim Collaborative Family Summit at Fullerton College was a great opportunity for, I think, parents to see all the great things that our district is doing, and more so the opportunities with dual enrollment and also the pledge for them to get that information. I know someone's going to probably talk more about the Mac Farm, but we were all there enjoying that delicious dinner and looking at the Crate Farm. Oxford Academy Advanced Instrumental Concert, the program has grown so big, they had to hire a second teacher. So we have a second full-time teacher at Oxford. And then I got to go back to visit actually Orangeview and Western about their redesign on the staff development day, and stayed there the entire day to see the presentations from the people that went to Hillsdale, and just to share with the entire staffs. And I just really want to applaud the work of principals, Moreno and Miss Crawford, Bindi Crawford. Coffee with the principal at Cypress High School. I was impressed, and I think everybody needs to see these presentations. Tyler Sherman did a phenomenal job on e-cadence. And I think we should record it because we could be doing our own Khan Academy with this, because the information, I was enlightened so much, and can really just speak now about what I know about e-cadence. And also, Orlando Griego and Tiffany Boss, they did a whole thing on the nutrition of our district, food services that we provide, and we got samples. So there was a highlight of that too. I was telling people this was way better than Costco, so, you know. And the portions were bigger too. And consolidation meeting update with parents at Western High School. We did that, and then I got to go to to the ethics training. So I don't know if you've all done that, but the board members have to do that. Cypress High School homecoming was a big success. And I also too want to give a shout out to Allison, and I know Charles Koo is watching at home. So Charles, I want to just say thank you for your hard work for the College and Career Fair. You guys did a phenomenal job bringing everybody together. It definitely takes a team. And then, like Nancy said, we were at the State of the City, and then the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. I want to end with a quote from Walt Disney. You can design and create and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it takes people to make the dream a reality. You know what, I look around this room, and the people that make the dream a reality are in this room. But I really want to pay attention to our principals. As we celebrate Principals Month, like Dr. Freed said, I want to give a special shout out to our amazing principals, some I see here tonight. Not only do they guide our schools during the instructional day, ensuring everything runs smoothly, but they also take time to plan impactful events like ribbon cutting, ceremonies for new fields, and innovative crate farms. Despite the busy season of homecoming celebrations, providing info tables at the College and Career Fair, I thought they were having a competition who could have the best design table, because if you went to our College and Career Fair, you'll see, man, it looked like someone was going to get a prize for who decorated their table the best. But I was so impressed with all the information that you guys were providing. But their dedication and hard work enrich our school communities in countless ways, and we are truly grateful for their unwavering commitment. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to thank all of our 21 principals. Thank you so much.
I ditto.
Thank you. Well, I'll pick up right where Ron left off and just ditto what he said about the principals. So thankful for the fantastic job that you do day in and day out, year in, year out. I know sometimes it is a thankless job, but it's for the kids, and we see the difference in the students that are graduating and moving on. So thank you so much. I finished up the last 3 back-to-school nights at Gilbert. Gilbert was one of them, and the Spider Lab, which is hasn't been fully assembled yet, but what I'm really looking forward to the opportunities that lab is going to offer to the students there. It's phenomenal, the equipment they have in there, and so hopefully by another 6 months and it will be up and running, and anybody that hasn't been there, another 6 months, stop by and see the Spider Lab, ask for the Spider Lab. I attended the JFK Civics Award of Excellence event with the Chief Justice from California Supreme Court there to honor us, which was exciting. I went to the Western High School Varsity Talks in the morning, had breakfast there, and alumni came back and talked about their experiences. So that was really great to hear their stories. The Cypress High School field ribbon cutting event, along with Anaheim High School. Now we have 2 schools that have that. beautiful fields. Looking forward to more in the district, and another ribbon cutting coming up pretty soon at Western. I attended the Buena Park State of the City luncheon. They have a lot on the drawing board that they're going to be bringing forth in the next few years. A lot of new construction in the way of housing, but if past foretells what's going to happen with those homes, they're not going to bring us many students. It's just, I think it's the affordability index that we just won't get many students out of that. But still, it's going to make the city a nicer place to live. Had the opportunity to attend the Mack Freight Farm Trader Ribbon Cutting event, and that was well attended, delicious food, well done by our students who they served the meals, they prepared the meals, and it's a great learning experience for them because they haven't had that experience in life. So it was a real, at least the girl that served our table, she thanked us for the opportunity. I attended the Kennedy homecoming game after the MAC event, and they did very well that night in cleaning the clock of their opponent. I attended a Measure K rally, which was pretty well attended, and during that walk where this was on a Saturday, so it was off the clock, so to speak, I ran into a resident that had a question about our bond that we're touting, that we want, that's on the that we're going to be voting for. And what he was asking about was exactly what was presented tonight, which was the control and how do we make sure the funds are being properly spent. So we had a discussion about that. College and Career Fair, what a fantastic event. I think it gets better every year. There were so many people there, and as Ms. Toshi said, the competition, it seemed like, between the schools, who could be doing better, you just kept going around, and they just were very excited. The schools were excited, the kids were excited throughout the whole area. Cypress Mayor prayer breakfast was attended by a few of us, and it was always inspirational. And also the Cypress State of the City event, where they presented what was on their plan for building the city, making it better, sort of like Buena Park. I was very surprised when I heard that they have 3 times their operating budget as a reserve. Now, can you imagine if we had that kind of reserve? We'd be in the billions of dollars in our reserve. So that's not very common. Because I was on a city council, we had, I think, about 1 year reserve, and we were concerned about the optics of, would people be thinking we had so much money in the reserve? Why weren't we spending it? Well, that came to haunt later on. Oxford Family Center ribbon cutting yesterday. Exciting that Oxford now has a room dedicated to families, where parents can go and learn about their kids' education and their future, and being able to be guided in that respect. PT, then after that, walked across the campus and attended the PTSA Reflection Gallery Showcase. Really neat to see the artwork from the Lexington students and from the Oxford students. I took a couple pictures, so I'll take them home and show my wife, and she was just blown away at the what the students were doing. And I think that's about it. That's enough. So as Dr. Nian said about Nitesh Patel, Council Member Patel, he has been so giving in our district, starting basically with Hope School. He's helped Boys and Girls Club, and now he's helping Magnolia, yes, Magnolia, and helping the students, hopefully give them a better insight in life and helping them move along the path of their future. And walking better because they all have new shoes. So we need to thank Mr. Patel for that. So that's it.
Thank you. Ms. Smith.
Well, this mine is much a replication of what has already been said. But another example of the greatness of this country is the town hall that was presented to the community regarding Western and Orangeview. And over past decades, I don't say this with any joy, I've had the experience of traveling to many communist countries that were deep in communism. And you did not see people smile. And the other day when I was on other campuses, yesterday in particular at Oxford, the kids smile. And that to me is such a blessing, to be able to see smiles on people's faces. I say that with tears in my eyes because we sometimes can't appreciate how very fortunate we are. And the town hall that was presented at Western, the group that put that on was outstanding, and Patty Neely also went into how the construction is going to change, where the bathrooms are going to be. And I thought it was a beautiful overview for the community to be able to see firsthand, because this is such an unusual thing for us. So I want to thank you for being part of that, Patty. And the Mac dinner, the imagination that is put into that meal is remarkable. The soup was served. Does anybody want to guess how the soup was served? Anybody know? They took pumpkins this size and hollowed them out, and the ladle went in and brought the soup out and put it into individual bowls, and it was delicious. The whole meal was wonderful. The service presented by these youth, I thought to myself, they will go through their lives never forgetting this night. And as you get older, you realize what an important part of your memory bank brings this into who you are and how you were created. And I just want to say thank you to the team. And I attended the Cypress High School ribbon cutting. And they have a mascot there. Does anybody know what the mascot looks like? Unimaginable. And whoever created it, if it was one person or more than one, I don't know how it was ever. He's huge and quite a remarkable, just to watch him walk around. I wanted to go tweak his nose because he was so tall. I couldn't even reach it if I tried. But it was a lovely event and a happy one. And the Savannah Back to School night, one of the ambassadors greeted me and took my husband and me to all of her classes that she prizes. Her history class, her math class. She took us to a ROP class. She's learning to be an assistant in the hospital or to a doctor. And her teacher gave a great example of what they are teaching the students in that class. And they had a full example of a body, cadaver, but not fully clothed. It was the bones. What am I trying to say?
Skeleton?
Pardon?
Skeleton?
A skeleton, thank you. I couldn't come up with the word. And I thought that was just so informational, because for years I've known about folks that go into this line of work, but I haven't ever seen firsthand how they learn it. So that was a joy. And the Oxford Family Center opening last night was just lovely. And I can tell you that when Dr. Jan Billings and I initiated the start of that school, my idea is that that school would start bare bones. We'd have a school that was clean, and it would be under 5 lines of what it would be directed under: entrance by test, professional attire for staff, academic attire for students, and maintain a certain GPA and family involvement. And to see it grow, to see this family center last night, you can just see where the bones of it have grown and grown over the years. We had no athletics when it started. And my idea was, let it come from the students and from the families. And it's such a prize today. And to go back and see it this many years later, I think it's 26 years that we started it. But anyway, this was material that was at the Family Center, and that was well done. I thought I'd share it and pass it on. Thank you, one and all, for your patience and your time and just being here. Thank you, Patty.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Ms. Guerrero?
Yes, thank you. I know I was absent last month due to a family emergency, so just want to thank everyone for their kind thoughts and patience during that time. And just want to share a few of my activities from here to there. I was able to attend the girls' flag football bell game, Anaheim High School versus Western High School, and witness history as the girls' flag football team won the bell game for the girls for the very first time. And then that same night, I attended the boys' flag football with Dr. Nien as well. Western High School did maintain the bell for another year, so congratulations to them. Very excited for them. I had the opportunity to attend Kennedy High School Civics Awards ceremony along with Chief Justice Guerrero and our State Superintendent, Tony Thurman. I attended the Anaheim High School RCP, their first summit, and just want to give kudos to the Anaheim High School ambassador for leading that and her team. Also attended along with my colleagues the Cypress High School track and field ribbon cutting, the Magnolia High School freight farm ribbon cutting, and farm-to-table dinner, which was delicious. And just want to thank all of our partners that were part of that. And a special thank you to Vice Chairman Doug Chafee for his sponsorship of the freight farm. I was able to attend Hope School's PTA's student art night. Their PTA is relatively new, but they are strong, and it was a very well thought out night, and it was great to see all the families and family and students come together. I attended the insurance committee in August, and then want to thank Trustee Hoshi for stepping in for me in September. I was glad to see that all of our unions and we were able to come together. So thank you for all of that collaboration. I attended the Boys and Girls Club event with Trustee Hoshi. I also completed my ethics training. I also attended the Measure K rally along with my colleagues. And then this past Saturday, I was able to participate in Congressman Correa's panel for his Young Congressional Leaders Program. And there was a lot of our AUHSD students there asking questions and just engaging in how civic engagement works. So I want to thank him for putting that panel together. And then I was also able to attend the Miss Anaheim Beautiful Scholarship Program, and it was a great night for AUHSD. I want to congratulate Anaheim High School student Sophia Hall for being named the Miss Anaheim Beautiful 2024-2025, and Savannah High School student Sophia Prudencio for being named Miss Anaheim Beautiful Teen Ambassador 2024-2025. And then along with my colleagues, also attended the AUHC College and Career Fair, which was beautifully done. Kudos to everyone that helped out with that and everyone that participated at the event. And then I was able to join Girls Inc. of Orange County along with Councilmember Rubakava for their networking breakfast when they shared about the Girls Inc. and their programs at our schools. And I want to thank Tanya Garcia from Anaheim High School for sharing the impact of Girls Inc. at our sites. And then also along with my colleagues attended last night's ribbon cutting of Oxford Academy's Family Center. And then this morning I was able to participate in Supervisor Sarmiento's State of the 2nd District. So thank you for him for hosting that event. And then just want to give a quick shout out to Anaheim High School tonight. They had a football game, and it is a dedication ceremony for the Anaheim High School coach, Mr. Lanny Boer, who dedicated over 3 decades to Anaheim High School as their head football coach. He's also an alumni of Anaheim High School, class of 1981. I just want to thank him for his leadership, passion, and commitment to our student athletes, and his incredible mark that he's left on our community. He's been a head coach from 2004 to 2003. Has achieved incredible milestones, including 100 career wins, 3 Orange League titles, and 11 playoff appearances. So I just want to thank him for his legacy to our football program and our athletics at Anaheim High School. And also happy Principal Month to all our principals.
Can I clarify something? It's
Yes.
2004 to 2023.
2004, 2000, yes, 3
23.
decades.
And he
2003.
stepped away because he has twin boys that are now in high school playing football as well.
Yes, so he's still with us, but not in his capacity as head football coach.
Yes.
Yes.
And then just curious, who won the flag football game, the first flag football game between Anaheim and Western?
Anaheim High School won it, just
Oh,
to
nice.
clarify too.
Wow, Robert.
Thank
do
you
we
for that
go
question.
there?
I just want to hear that again.
I just want to hear that again.
Ah.
Thank you.
The other score.
So in the interest of time, I attended a lot of the events with my colleagues. I just wanted to, again, give a shout out to all the folks that attended the rally for our bond. And when it passes, we will celebrate. And a special shout out to you, Nancy. We know that you've been working a day and night, and I don't know how you sleep and where you're getting any rest, but we really appreciate it. We know how much you care about our district, and you're going above and beyond the extra mile. And all the folks that attended the rally and got the walk together, especially ASTA and our employees that were there to do that. And I also wanted to give a shout out, because they're still here, our ROP family members that were participated in our college and career, and you're always, right beside us with initiatives, and we appreciate your partnership. I've always said that ROP is our right arm or left arm, whichever one you choose, but we thank you for being there and making our college and career a wonderful success. And boy, when I walked in, I literally walked from where I live to the convention center, and I could see all of the students and families leaving with all their little trinkets and goodies, and just the smiles on their faces and the joy that event brought to everyone. Really appreciate. I saw every age there, from little to big, and so I think we're inspiring generations to come. And I really appreciate, because every year board gives suggestions, and so this one I noticed that the whole area, the front area, was cleared, so you can actually walk in and kind of get a panoramic view of what you're going to see and experience and get an excitement for it. Last year was a little crowded in that area. And so I don't know how long you stayed, Ron, but I know you were there until after. And so I think it was a really enjoyable event, and so many hours and days and nights planning that. So for all that of you involved, really appreciate it. And again, John, you and your team are phenomenal. Those spotlights, I can't wait every Saturday to get that little ding in my my phone to see what your staff has captured. I wish they could be everywhere, but when they do capture the events, they really do an amazing job to highlight all the work that event would hold. And so kudos to them. Congratulations to all of our ribbon cutting events. And I attended the Simon Scholar banquet as well. And just a quick little story about Anaheim High School ambassador. She had sent me an email, and I was just thinking, oh, how am I going to fit this one more thing in my schedule? So I work during the day, and I try not to take too many days off, but she found me at the Simon Scholars Banquet and stood there patiently waiting after I had talked to so many students. And she just looked at me and she said, I sent you an email, and can you come to our RSVP event? And I couldn't say no. So she's persistent, and she's going places. But the RSVP Summit was phenomenal, and I was really glad to see the students empowering each other and how that all works. And again, our site principals, I'm in education, I've worked for many principals, and I think our principals in our district are phenomenal and among the best. And a little birdie told me that, that was one of the hardest jobs ever to hold, and you do get the brunt of everything. And so we do really, really appreciate you. And happy Halloween, and we're going to be celebrating next month when we all gather together for our next meeting. Yeah. All right. Future meeting date on November 14th, 6 p.m. Any suggested agenda items? Okay, seeing none, I will take a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, good night.